So let's take a look at the southern cold. See, it is, I mean, by any definition, the ridiculous cold is all the way into the south. Here's where we are this morning, tracking the records. Little Rock, we're at 13, not quite to the record yet. We're closer in Tupelo, 1 degree away from that old record of 10. New Orleans, we're at 26, 1 degree away from the record. And Charleston, South Carolina still have a chance to drop down to 19 degrees and break the new record cold this morning. And yesterday we broke our record cold high by about 9 degrees, Charleston. The cold is here and it's going all the way down into central Florida. Look at Tampa. 41 degrees right now, and when you factor in the wind chill, it feels like it is near freezing. So wind chill advisories are up all the way down into central Florida, the Florida Panhandle. If you're vacationing here this week, what a shock to the system, right? You weren't expecting this. We've got those wind chill advisories all the way down to places like New Orleans as well. So with the wind, when you factor in temperature plus wind, it feels like 6 below zero in Nashville, 1 below in Little Rock. It actually feels colder in Atlanta than it does in some spots in the Northeast. Feels like 4 right now and 34 in Tampa. The cold is here to stay. We've got another chilly day ahead. Temperatures are struggling to get even into the 30s. Nashville, we're going to stay in the 20s today. Dothan, Alabama, you are going to not get above 42 degrees. That's it. Here, well below our average highs for this time of year. Tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures come back up a little bit, but it's really not going to warm up until next week. Chris, what do we know about the Kansas City is they had clear skies. And so clear skies really contribute to these cold nights. It's radiational cooling. And let me talk about how clouds actually impact your temperatures overnight. It's more of a significant impact than you might think. So during the day and certainly during the night as well, clouds actually emit radiation. They deflect sunlight back up to space. And so underneath, you're going to be a bit cooler on a cloudy day relative to a sunnier day. And at night, if clouds are there, they also are still emitting radiation. Actually, some of it back down to the ground, some of it back up to space, and they're absorbing radiation as it's emitted from the ground during the nighttime. So they're emitting it right back down. So on a cloudy night, as opposed to a clear night, it will be warmer. Clear skies, you're going to have those temperatures just radiating nonstop here. And that's when we get some of our coldest lows. That's when sort of the bottom drops out of the temperature. As for sleet and the chance for snow in the south, all very impactful. And we get some winter storm watches that are up here and which weather advisories. Everything starts tomorrow. So let's talk more about what's going on all the way from Lake City, Tallahassee. We're watching Jacksonville very closely, though you're not in it. Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, North Carolina, up to Norfolk, Virginia. You guys are the first spots to get an impact from our storm, which will be forming actually over the Bahamas. So we've got an old boundary down there, low forming on that. Watch the precip interact with the cold air. This is the problem. And we've got this cold air mass. Certainly the surface is very cold. So we're looking at that concern for freezing rain when you've got that cold, shallow air. But how deep is that layer of cold air? That's the question, right? And that's the precip type question. There's a decent chance that we get snowfall and accumulating snowfall here in the low country of South Carolina. Perhaps 1 to 3 inches is a possibility there. That's going to be impactful because the temperatures will be cold. So the road surfaces will be cold. It will be a travel problem. And this is a real concern as well. This freezing rain that is in the forecast, not too far from Jacksonville. Northern suburbs, be ready for it. The concern is there from the Florida Panhandle right through South Georgia. Savannah in that concern as well for freezing rain. A glaze of ice, a 1/4 inch of a glaze of ice will be certainly on the roads, very impactful, but also could take down perhaps some tree limbs as well. We'll have to watch for power outages. All right, so that's what's happening in the south. Of course, the cold, a big factor of it. And Jim, you guys are dealing with Chris. Thank you. Break the record, get the bragging rights. You know what else? The wind chill has been such a big deal. People have asked me, is the wind chill really real? Do you guys make up that number? No, we calculate it. There is an equation. This is it. It's complicated, yes, but T is temperature and V is the wind velocity. Wind makes a big deal. This is actually, the wind chill factor was created, so to speak, back in 1945 by 2 Antarctic explorers. So they calculated using science what it's like to deal with the wind, whisking away the heat from your skin and knocking down your temperature. So take a look out there this morning. We've got wind chills already. And host of today's homeowner, Danny, good morning to you. You are Mobile, Alabama, where I know it's also incredibly cold this morning. Let's talk about our house. And, you know, there's pipes all over the place in our homes. Do we have to worry about all of them freezing and then bursting?
Well, the first thing you need to do is
tail or not, but indeed it works. Open up those cabinets and let the water drip. All right, Danny Lipford, thank you so much. Great advice. Everywhere, right? We've had such a cold winter, but yet we have to hold our complaints about the warmth when we get it. Nashville, you're colder right now than it is in Boston, believe it or not here. So the chill is in place. The winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories are up. Dallas, I've been watching you pretty closely. All the snow is now off to your south. The dry air has moved in, which will factor into how much of anything you get across parts of Texas. Got some low dew points coming into places like Dallas, already down to the single digits. But we do have a decent snow happening right now. Shreveport, about a mile and a quarter visibility for you. We are watching Austin, where you've had some freezing rain, and that's very light, but it's still happening right now. So watching that and keeping a close watch on San Antonio as well as the cold air moves in. The front is through. It's all about the cold air moving in, as it will throughout the morning. So places like Houston, where we're in the 40s right now, watching the temperatures to keep dropping through the morning. There is the chance for freezing rain or maybe sleet mixing in around the Houston area. Certainly north of I-10 is where that's most likely. You are under a winter weather advisory and a winter storm warning there, and we are going to be watching for that to wrap up by the evening commute. But I think in terms of impacts, you're pretty much in today. You're just sort of waiting this one out, because while temperatures are warm right now, they are going to keep dropping right through the afternoon. Here's San Antonio, too, where we're also watching for some wintry precip. More this morning. We're going to be looking for temperatures to stay in the low 20s. Max is about 32 degrees, which we see briefly this afternoon. But we've got either the freezing rain or the snow or sleet mixing in, and that'll be with us right through the morning here. Houston, here's your forecast. Our temperatures will keep dropping. As I said, we're in the 40s right now, but we're going to be dropping down into the 30s pretty quickly. This is your 8 o'clock forecast, and we see our temperatures below freezing right through the rest of the day. Not seeing it again through tomorrow, as well as temperatures start tomorrow in the 20s. So watching for icy spots, anything elevated. And Houston, there's a lot of elevated, so definitely concerned about road problems and travel concerns there. Nashville, I already saw some light snow coming into the area, about 9-mile visibility, so it's flurries, but we'll get a coating of snow coming in through the midday hours out of there by the commute home. Birmingham, it is the commute home that you could see some light snow, and then getting through the Atlanta area overnight. The models keep putting out that it's going to be breaking up and sort of drying up for at least a time across northern Georgia. So we'll see how much that happens, but certainly the potential is still there for a coating, and then we'll watch that across portions of western North and South Carolina too. This is overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. The pictures, I'm sure you've seen the video where it just blocks up everything, right? So it's basically creates a dam, and we get into flooding issues. So here's the areas that we have the river flood warnings. It's not like it's a widespread flood watch. It's all specific to the river, and the river's getting out of their banks. So watching Connecticut, Southern Mass, and also a couple of spots here near the Capital District. Also, actually not too far from Augusta, Maine as well. We are going to be watching for concerns again today as we bring more precip into the area. Of course, while temperatures, I won't call it mild, but it warmed up just a little bit, it's about to get really cold again as well, and that's going to contribute to some of these ice jam risks. All right, when it is cold in the north, vacationers can warm up in the south, right? I think it gets. It's all about this Arctic chill and the big wintry mess we've got going on with today's weather system that's crossing the country, heading through the south, dropping snow, sleet, freezing rain in the northeast. It's pretty much all snow, except for right along the coast. We'll have that wintry mix. But there is another storm system that comes in for the weekend that we got to start looking at. So we get through today and tomorrow, watching for the mid-Atlantic, North Carolina, South Carolina, Charleston this time. I think it's going to be mainly rain, but of course we'll watch any mixed precip getting in there. Timing-wise, I think it's going to help out with it coming through the day for you. Then on Friday, we look at temperatures in the 40s in New York City, back to the 50s in Atlanta. We start warming back up again, but you see what's happening in the northwest. A system coming down, bringing some snow to the mountains of Colorado. Denver, we've only had 29% of our average snowfall. We could use a little snow. You're actually not going to, I don't think, get much this time. But the next system comes in by Sunday. You see how far north the cold air is, all the way to Chicago. So we'll watch the back edge and keep track of the snow with this one end of the weekend into next week. Now, whether you're out for a jog or just walking the dog, on the move. So let me show you what we're dealing with right now. Winter storm warnings and advisories. The darker blue in the mornings from South Texas all the way up into Arkansas, parts of West Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and the winter weather advisory is just outside of that. Now, the Houston area, been watching you guys really closely. Temperatures are still in the 40s, but we've got the wind coming in from the north, literally blowing in that cold air as we speak, and temperatures will continue dropping off. I've seen a little freezing rain around Austin and San Antonio. Dallas, there was snow earlier. Most of that is all out of the area. The air just getting too dry there as dew points drop off into the single digits. So here we go with Austin right now. A little bit of freezing rain. It's certainly possible you get some sleet mixed in as well. Same thing around San Antonio. Precip type is going to be an issue for us here in South Texas. The Houston area, likely that as our temperatures drop, the first thing we get is freezing rain, bridges, overpasses, and all the overpasses and flyovers we have in the Houston area are going to be potentially icy. Winter storm Inga in San Antonio, we got temperatures dropping down into the 20s and staying there today. We don't go above freezing here over the next 24 hours. So if there are any icy spots, if they're not treated, it is going to be very difficult and treacherous. Houston, same thing for you. Once we drop below freezing, we stay there. Going off to work, your temperatures are in the low 20s, and we will see that snow spread in through the afternoon hours. There could be a rain snow issue possible. We'll keep an eye on that. I think especially to the south and east of there, that's more likely to be the case. Here's a look right now at the radar in the northeast. A lot of this not reaching the ground, or it's very, very light, so it's not a big deal just yet. But through the day, it will become a big deal. So by the afternoon, we could be dealing with some early dismissals. We could be dealing with some issues for your commute home all across the northeast, from Pennsylvania up to New York City. Again, that rain snow line is going to be an issue here. Likely Long Island, we're all rain, and then to the north and west, it is snow. So it depends where you're going as to what kind of commute you're going to have. Southern Connecticut, likely to be all rain. Rhode Island as well. Boston, again, you're right on that line. We will see north and west, and your commute home to New Hampshire is going to be a snowy one. And then we get through the day tomorrow, and it is certainly all snow that we are looking at. So here's how much we are going to find. 3 to 5 inches, pretty widespread across all of New England, but there's going to be a lot of 5 to 8 from southeastern Maine back down into western Massachusetts, western Connecticut. There'll be about 5 to 8 inches of snow, and maybe up towards the capital district of New York, Albany, and then down towards Poughkeepsie. We've got that chance of 5 to 8 inches of snow. Boston, for us, the snow comes in overnight tonight into tomorrow, and then again tomorrow afternoon. There is that mixing possibility. This is not terribly cold for us just yet in Boston. And I say just yet because there is more cold coming, but for now we're going to be hovering right around that freezing mark. All right, let's go coast to coast right now and check out your Tuesday morning weather headlines. Look at your weekend in view. We have today's storm Inga, and then there's another one on tap for the weekend. So first, getting through today with wintry weather all the way down to South Texas, Austin, San Antonio, freezing rain or sleet. Houston, freezing rain, a possibility there. Wednesday's forecast is all about the snow from the mid-Atlantic up into the northeast. And it's going to be a tough travel day, I think, too, especially places like Boston, watching that rain-snow line. Then looking ahead to your Thursday forecast, dry in the east, starting to warm back up, except for Miami, where it's only 66 degrees. So you're getting your Florida winter there. Friday's forecast, though, starts to show our next system coming into the west with rain down into Southern California, snow coming into the Colorado Rockies, mountain snow, yes. Denver snow still not looking good, and we are running only 29% of our average snowfall, Denver, so we could use a little snow. Now that system becomes the weather maker for the weekend. We're going to see the rain come into Chicago. It's mild to start. Look at Atlanta, temperatures in the 60s on Sunday. So this is going to be a more mild pattern that we get into for the end of the weekend into early next week. Now, right now, though, it's about the cold. Winter storm in the southern half of the country. Strong winds could whip away your wishes for a wonderful weekend. Kelly. There's a bit of the Northeast that's getting some taste of, not specifically Quinn, but just the general pattern that Quinn is a part of here in the Northeast. So there's what's left, what's left of Quinn, the upper level disturbance anyway. That's the main piece of it. But look at the radar this morning. We've got snow showers all around, just general troughiness, if you want to call it that, here across the Northeast. And so we are seeing some snow showers. We're getting some help from the lakes, not pure lake effect, but we're getting some help. There's a lot of unfrozen lake surface out there, so that's going to help you out today. All right, so Buffalo, we've got snow. Syracuse, we've got snow. Scranton, Pennsylvania, snow. Albany, we're going to talk more about your snow this morning, and you've got some light snow showers out there in the vicinity, and there'll be more today. I mean, look at this radar. Very difficult to pinpoint exactly when you're going to get a snow shower, but you can see the chances are high that you'll get at least one today if you're in western or central New York, northern New York as well. By tonight, that will start to diminish, and we'll see hopefully a break from all of this, but you're going to keep getting those alerts that snow showers are beginning. We're going to be watching for most of it to be about 1 to 3 inch type of snowfall. But in the snow squalls, as Jim talked about, we could get some heavier snow. And for some of you, it's, Adirondacks, it's possible we get 3 to 5 or even 6 to 7 inches of snow. Here we go in Syracuse, more snow showers again. If that's your profession, that's great. But for everyone else, this has been a headache. There's a lot of cleaning up to do. Kids are out of school. Again, they're going to be going to the end of June when it comes to making up these snow days. And we have more snow showers out there today. Nothing terribly heavy right now. So there's two things going on. There's the trough all across the region that's going to help us stay snowy with that northwest flow. We're seeing some of that all the way down to the mountains of West Virginia, western Maryland, higher terrain getting some significant accumulation. Actually, I think you'll see some of that in Pennsylvania as well. Terrain will help. The higher you go, a little more chance of getting additional accumulation. And, the lakes are going to help as well. A lot of unfrozen surface of the lake. So we're going to be watching for some help from the lake out there today. But the lakes, I should say, watch what happens by overnight tonight. We start to see it all diminish there. But in northern Maine, what's left of Quinn pivoting back in, this hangs on. So you guys are going to get some more significant accumulation, the kind you have to shovel or get the snow blowers out. We've got 1 to 3, 3 to 5 inches of snow all across northern Maine today, thanks to what's left of Quinn. And then, Jim, could we have our next?
All right.